Are you tired of having the same argument over and over with your spouse, and nothing ever really changes? Hey, I'm Michael Flynn, and welcome to Relationship Reset Academy, where we turn conflict into connection. And yes, even the "my spouse drives me crazy" kind of conflict. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop those frustrating, go-nowhere fights with your partner, without pretending everything's fine or bottling it all up until you explode. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a simple 5-step method to defuse tension before it turns into another blow-up, and finally get back to that version of your relationship that actually felt like a team. Before we jump in, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a trick to stop the stress and bring back the peace. All right, let's get into what's really behind these constant fights and how to shut them down before they even start. Step 1. Pause the blame game. When tension starts building between you and your spouse, it's almost second nature to point the finger. Your voice gets sharper, your tone gets louder, and before you know it, you're blaming them for everything from leaving the milk out to ruining your entire day. And hey, I get it. When you're hurt or frustrated, blaming can feel like a way to release that energy. But let me give it to you straight. Blame is like throwing gasoline on a fire you're hoping to put out. Here's the thing. When you blame, you force your spouse into defense mode. They're not listening anymore. They're preparing their comeback. And now, it's not about resolving anything. It's about survival. That's why it's so important to pause the blame game. Not just for your partner's sake, but for yours. You can't create peace in your relationship if you're always ready for battle. The next time things start heating up, try catching yourself right before the blame lands. That pause, that moment of awareness, is your power. Instead of saying, "You never help around the house," try flipping it to, "I've been feeling overwhelmed with everything going on at home lately." It sounds small, but trust me, it changes everything. It shifts the conversation from attack to connection, from walls up to walls down. And I know, it's not easy when emotions are running high. But if you can take that beat, that breath, that 2-second reset, you're already doing something 90% of couples don't. You're choosing peace over pride. You're choosing connection over control. And that choice? That's how fights start to lose their power over your marriage. So every time you feel the urge to blame, ask yourself, do I want to prove a point, or do I want to make progress? You can't do both at the same time. One heals, the other hurts. Step 2. Don't argue to win. Argue to understand. If you've ever found yourself arguing so hard you forgot what the argument was even about, you're not alone. A lot of couples fall into this trap. You start off discussing something small, a missed text, a forgotten errand, and suddenly you're both dragging in every disagreement from the last 5 years. Why? Because somewhere along the way, it stopped being about solving the problem. It became about winning. But here's a tough truth that'll set you free. Winning an argument with your spouse isn't really winning anything at all. What you're really doing is pushing them away, even if you walk away right. Relationships aren't competitions. They're partnerships. And if you're constantly trying to be right, you'll end up alone, even if you're still married. Start shifting your mindset. Instead of debating to prove your side, get curious about theirs. Try saying, "Help me understand what you're feeling right now," instead of, "That makes no sense." Ask questions, not to trap them, but to actually learn something. To understand what's underneath the reaction. That's where real connection happens, in the stuff you don't see at first glance. And when you do that, when you stop pushing and start listening, you create space. You build trust. You show your partner that you're not there to fight them. You're there to fight for the relationship. That right there, that's how the walls start coming down. Step 3. Learn the cool down code. Ever been in a fight where things got so intense, you said something you didn't mean? Or worse, something you did mean, but regret saying out loud? That's what happens when you let emotions drive the conversation. And it's one of the biggest reasons couples stay stuck in toxic communication patterns. So let's fix that, starting with something I call the cool down code. The cool down code is a phrase or signal you and your spouse agree on ahead of time. It's what you use when you both know the argument is going nowhere and you need a breather before things escalate. It might be as simple as saying, "I need 10 minutes, but I'll be back to talk when I've calmed down." That phrase is gold. It gives both of you space to cool off without triggering fear or abandonment. Because here's the deal. Walking away during an argument can feel like rejection, unless your partner knows you're coming back. The cool down code protects both people. It says, I care about us too much to keep fighting like this. It stops the spiral before it begins. The goal is not to avoid the issue. It's to create a space where you can both return to the conversation with a clear head and an open heart. That's when communication actually works. That's when solutions start to show up. And don't wait until you're in a screaming match to come up with your code. Talk about it during a calm moment. Decide what phrase you'll use. Agree on the time you'll come back together. Make it something simple, easy to remember, and totally judgment-free. You're not walking away from each other. You're walking toward a healthier way of dealing with conflict. Want a list of cool down codes you can steal and start using today? Go check out romancedictionary.com/marriage. There's a ton of language and real-life scripts there that couples are using right now to stop blow-ups before they happen. It's one of the best things you can do for your marriage. The link is in the pop-up here and in the description below. Step 4. Catch the pattern, then break it. If it feels like you're having the same argument over and over with your spouse, you probably are. That's because couples get stuck in loops. You push, they shut down. They get loud, you retreat. And before you know it, you've got this invisible script that plays out on autopilot. Same trigger, same reaction, same unresolved mess. The trick is learning to see that pattern while it's happening. Because once you can recognize it, you can stop playing your part in it. Start noticing what sets the fight off. What role do you take on? Are you the exploder or the avoider? What does your partner usually do in response? Watch it like a movie, not just from your own point of view. It's not about blame, it's about awareness. And when you do see it happening, interrupt it. Do something that throws the script off course. Maybe that means sitting down when you'd usually storm out. Maybe it means softening your voice when you'd usually raise it. Maybe it means saying, wait, this feels like our usual loop. Let's pause. It might feel awkward at first because you're literally retraining your brain. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Patterns only repeat when no one interrupts them. And the most powerful change comes when one person decides to show up differently. No, this isn't about being perfect or pretending everything's fine. It's about creating a crack in the routine, a moment where something new can happen. And that's where real progress begins. Step 5. Bring in gratitude, even when you're mad. I know what you're thinking. Gratitude? Now, when we're fighting. That sounds ridiculous. But hear me out. Gratitude during conflict is like pouring water on a flame that's about to burn your whole house down. It changes the emotional tone of the conversation. It reminds both of you that underneath the irritation, underneath the short tempers and miscommunications, there's still love. And I'm not talking about fake compliments or sugarcoating the issue. I'm talking about something small and sincere. Maybe it's, I'm upset right now, but I appreciate how hard you try. Or, I'm frustrated, but I don't want this to come between us. It doesn't erase the disagreement, but it anchors it in something deeper: respect, care, partnership. The goal isn't to cancel out the conflict. It's to create a layer of emotional safety within the conflict. That safety is what allows resolution to happen. Without it, fights become battles. With it, they become conversations. Try practicing this even when you're not fighting. Make gratitude a regular part of how you speak to each other. That way, when arguments do come up, you're both starting from a foundation of kindness, not criticism. When gratitude becomes a habit, even in the hard moments, it becomes a shield that protects your relationship, not from problems, but from the poison that often comes with them. Hey, listen, relationships aren't always easy, especially when you're caught in the same arguments over and over. But I promise you, it doesn't have to stay that way. You can stop the fighting. You can bring the peace back into your relationship, and you don't need to wait years to do it. If you're ready to go deeper and finally stop the fights for good, head over to romancedictionary.com/marriage. You'll find powerful tools that help thousands of couples reconnect without all the stress and drama. The link is in the pop-up here and in the description below. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the fight that always comes up in your marriage? Let's talk about it. Make sure to subscribe, Turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos and watch one of the next ones popping up on your screen. I've got tons of content lined up to help you reset, reconnect, and rediscover what brought you together in the first place. Thanks for hanging out with me here at Relationship Reset Academy. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, peace at home is totally possible. You've got this.